So let's have a look at how we can split this into layers. Right now, there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't want in the controller. It's like things are static and we have some lists in here in the middle of a controller. Well, let's say your boss comes and says, well, that's great, Lars, that you have some lists that you can present, but you know we need this in a database, right? And you say, well, yeah, I know, so I'll have to change everything around, and pretty much everything needs to be changed. And that's what I'm going to show you now in the next couple of lessons. I'm going to show you the pain of actually having to split up your code after it's written. So instead of where we should have started out making a few layers, figuring out where we want our data and where we want our UI split up, right now it's just a chaos. We just put it all into one file. That's not nice. It's not an easy way to work with the current setup. So we're going to split it up now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the web app as it is, and then the first thing I'll do is I'll make a new package that I'll call the data logic layer. And the data logic layer, the idea behind that guy is pretty much that's going to figure out how to get the data. That's its goal. It's just to figure out how do I get the data, and then the web API here, the presentation, sorry, not the web API, the web application is actually going to show the data, present the data, but getting the data and saving the data, that responsibility is going to pass on to the actual data logic layer, right? So let's build the package. Let's start up by making a data logic layer package just to show you that part. So I'm going in and saying add new project. It's a new project we're adding, and we're going to select the class library. So this is something new. It's the class library that I want to select. And then I want to put in this information right here. Let me just zoom a bit. So I'm just going to select the class library, which is a DLL file. If you've ever worked with Windows before, you know a DLL file. And I think we talked about it earlier in the other courses, so go and check those out, what that is all about. So I'm calling this class library person application data logic layer, right? I'm going to say OK. And it's going to create it for me. Now, when it creates this guy, it's going to add an empty class. I don't want that, so let's just delete it, just to get a clean package. There we go, now it's a clean project. The first thing we need to do is, or at least I normally do, is I know that the person web app is going to have a reference to this application. So we're going like downwards in the hierarchy, saying that I'm going to present the data, and I'm going to know about you who can collect the data, or show me where to get the data, right? So we're going to add a reference here, and it's just right-clicking the references on the person web app and saying add reference, and then I'm going in here to solutions, and I'm going to just select the person application DLL. I'll press OK, and now these two know about each other. Now this guy can't do anything right now, so it's kind of boring, but that's kind of what we have to set up as a start. And let's just build this just to show you what actually happens if I do a rebuild, because I added that reference. If I go to this folder now, the person web app folder, let me just show you. If I go in here and I say show in open folder in File Explorer, you'll see that in the bin, a new DLL file actually was added to this project called, it's just rebuilding right now, give it a second. So you'll notice a new DLL file is actually added here. If I scroll down, there's a new one called person application DLL. That was a bad name, but still, data logic layer DLL file. That's actually been added to a project now, meaning that these two guys know about each other, and now we can, next lessons, we can start working between them. See you in the next lessons.